In our lives, we're often told that hard work is the only thing that matters. But the truth is, effort needs to be balanced with awareness and wisdom. Think about a lantern burning quietly in a corner. It's always there, always glowing, always dependable. And because of that, most people never even notice it. No one ever praises a lantern for just staying on. But the moment it flickers and goes out, every single eye in the room turns toward it. We aren't so different. If we never show the weight of our presence, if we never let others understand the vital role we play, someone else might just step into our place without a second thought. Today's story is a gentle reminder about finding that balance, understanding our value, and the quiet strength that comes from knowing our worth. There was once a young technician named Arun who worked in a large factory on the edge of a busy industrial town. He'd joined right out of his teens, and over the years, he became known for his calm nature and steady hands. He brought an almost meditative focus to every single task. His mentor was an older craftsman, Master Daron, a man whose face was etched with the lines of decades of patient work. Daron was respected, not because he was loud, but because he understood the deepest secrets of the craft, the kinds of lessons you'd never find in a manual. One evening, years ago, Daron gave Arun a piece of advice that stuck with him. He said, "Work with your full attention. Don't waste your breath on pointless chatter. Make yourself the kind of worker no one can easily replace." Arun took these words to heart. For nearly a decade, he lived by them. He stayed quiet. He worked with devotion. He mastered every corner of the workshop, from the heavy machines to the most delicate wiring, the safety protocols, the calibrations, everything. When Master Daron finally retired, Arun naturally stepped into the space he left behind. Everyone assumed he would rise quickly, that his diligence would shine like a beacon. But as the years passed, Arun started to notice something unsettling. Colleagues with half his skill, people who were far less careful or dedicated, were getting promoted. Their salaries were rising. Their roles were expanding. Meanwhile, his pay had barely changed since he first started assisting Daron. The disappointment grew like a silent weight inside him. One weekend, he decided to visit his old mentor. Master Daron greeted him with a warm smile, but the moment he saw Arun's expression, it softened. "What troubles you, my boy?" he asked gently. Arun let out a long, weary sigh. "I followed your every word. I focus. I stay quiet. I've become skilled in every task that crosses my hands. But I don't understand. Others with less ability are moving ahead of me. I'm still right where I was. My pay has barely changed. My role is the same. What am I doing wrong?" Daron listened without interrupting. Then he asked calmly, "Do you truly believe the factory depends heavily on you?" Arun nodded without hesitation. "Yes, in many areas, I am the one they rely on the most." The old master thought for a long moment, then said, "Then take a single day off. You work every day without a break. Rest a little tomorrow." Arun was surprised, but the request seemed simple enough. The next morning, he sent a polite note explaining he needed a personal day. When he walked back into the factory the following day, the atmosphere felt different. His manager called him into the office immediately. During his absence, several of the tasks he usually handled had gone wrong. Machines had malfunctioned. Small errors had snowballed into major delays. The manager looked at him with a seriousness Arun had never seen before. "Your absence caused significant problems," he said. We didn't realize just how much depended on your expertise. Starting today, we're promoting you to senior technician, and your pay will be increased accordingly." Arun left the office filled with gratitude. He hurried to tell Master Daron the good news, and his mentor just nodded knowingly. In the weeks that followed, whenever Arun felt his efforts were being taken for granted again, he repeated the same strategy: a quiet day off, a momentary absence, and every time he returned to find appreciation waiting for him. For months, this worked like a secret key, unlocking recognition, raising his status, and reinforcing his sense of value. Then, one ordinary morning, Arun walked to the factory gate as usual, but the guard blocked his way. "I'm sorry, Arun. You're no longer on the employee list." He thought it had to be a mistake, some error in the system, but it wasn't. The management had replaced him completely, without any warning. Shock tore through him like a cold wind. Confusion, anger, and hurt pride all collided at once. With heavy steps and even heavier thoughts, Arun returned to Master Daron. He sat before his mentor, his eyes clouded with disbelief. "Master, why did this happen?" "I did exactly what you advised. I worked silently, with skill, and when I felt unseen, I stepped back so they could realize my worth." How did it all fall apart? Daron listened, then shook his head softly. "My child, you followed only half of the lesson." Arun blinked. "What do you mean?" Daron folded his hands and spoke with the clarity of someone who has lived through many quiet truths. "When I taught you the example of the lantern, I meant two things. You remembered the first. A lantern that burns constantly is often ignored. When it suddenly goes out, people finally notice its light. That part you understood." He paused, letting the silence hang in the air. "But you forgot the second part. The more important part." Arun's breath caught in his throat. "If a lantern keeps going out, again and again," the old master continued, "sooner or later, someone will replace it. Not because they dislike the lantern, but because they cannot depend on it." Those words landed in Arun's heart with the weight of 1,000 unspoken truths. "In our lives," Daron went on, "in our work, in our families, even in our friendships, presence is precious. But reliability is sacred. You must show your value, yes. You must not allow yourself to be overlooked, yes. But there is a line between teaching others your worth and becoming unpredictable." Arun felt the truth settling in, painful but clear. His teacher placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Life rewards equilibrium, not extremes." And then came the wisdom Arun would carry with him forever. Balance makes your worth visible. The lesson is simple, but it's powerful. Take a moment today to acknowledge the people who quietly support you, and take a moment to reflect on your own presence. Are you giving too much without any recognition? Or are you withdrawing too often, hoping to be appreciated? Try to practice one small act of balance. Offer help, but don't lose yourself in the process. Show your value, but don't feel the need to constantly prove it. Rest, but don't disappear. Shine, but don't burn out. Every small step builds a life that others can trust, and one that you can feel proud of. Remember, balance makes your worth visible. If this story touched your heart, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching.